It's Ron Reader Digs the Universe. I'm Ron Reader, and this is Ron Reader Digs the Universe. And tonight, the Southern Baptist sex scandal. In the wake of a 2019 Houston Chronicle investigative report blowing the lid off decades of Southern Baptist sexual abuse and cover-ups, the Southern Baptist Convention convened a third-party investigation into the issue, and the findings were made public a little over a week ago. According to the New York Times, the report reveals that top church leaders suppressed and mishandled abuse claims, resisted reforms, and belittled victims and their families. The investigation also found, get this, a secret database compiled by the convention containing the names of some 700 alleged abuse victims, this on top of the 400 discovered by the Chronicle. I don't know how much, if any, overlap there is between the two groups of victims, but I do know that the list contained no accusers earlier than a decade ago or so, so it's likely just the tip of the iceberg. Actually, it's definitely the tip of the iceberg. There are a lot of known cases that just straight up didn't make the list, and in any case, these aren't just the accusations that made it all the way up to the convention. We can be sure that a lot of these were handled in-house, as it were, by individual Southern Baptist churches. So it's bad. Really bad. As bad as the Catholic sexual abuse scandal, which is it's intensely ironic, giving traditional Southern Baptist attitudes of superiority toward Catholicism. Speaking of traditional Southern Baptist attitudes, I think it's safe to say that misogyny, racism, devotion to hierarchy, and authoritarianism add up to a culture where such abuse is bound to happen. Indeed, the sexual purity aspect of the culture is just the flip side of rape, you know, as in, she was a dirty slut, she had it coming. And who in Southern Baptist culture is a dirty slut? Why, any woman deemed by any Southern Baptist man to be sexually impure. We must also note that this entire scandal is taking place before a backdrop of 80% evangelical support for the former rapist-in-chief, Donald Trump. The white Baptists are fascists now, with all the contempt for democracy, all the racism, hypocrisy, lies, and hate that being a fascist entails. The white Baptists, you know, the Southern Baptists, are, as a people, already morally corrupt. They do not display God's love. As a former Southern Baptist, I continue to be deeply saddened by their downfall. My family, a lot of friends, they're all stuck in a really awful place and don't seem to be able to rise above their indoctrination in order to assess objectively their spiritual situation. I mean, the Southern Baptists were the ones who taught me to value and deeply think about morality. I owe them that. And they've totally blown it. They are still the slave owner religion, and all the violence, racism, sexism, oppression, and hate from the antebellum South lives today in the hearts and minds of Southern Baptists. I believe that they cannot overcome the historical and cultural forces that have placed them where they are. If you are a white Baptist, get out while you can. You know, if you're a Baptist of conscience, because your conscience may not be able to last too much longer among these hateful, fallen people. Save yourself and go to another church. I'm Ron Reeder, and this has been Ron Reeder Digs the Universe. Join me, Ron Reeder, again next week for another episode of Ron Reeder Digs the Universe. Okay, I got a joke for you. Why don't Southern Baptists make love standing up? Because they're afraid somebody might see them and think they're dancing.